Number 2 on this list, as far as world records, was Cheptegei's 26:11 flat, which was worth 1,306 points. That's not on itself that big of a deal, except for when you consider that 1,306 points per the scoring tables, the greatest distance running world record ever. And that puts it, yes, above David Rudisha's 140.91. Now, I mentioned in the article, of course, you can still argue that Rudisha's is better just with the eye test and given the stage it was run on. But the equivalent to Cheptegei's 26 flat in the 800 would be 140.78. Is there any world in which you consider this 26:11 as a greater performance than Rudisha's 140.91 from the Olympic final in 2012?
Greater performance? No, because of the stage, as you mentioned, and because of the pressure that he did it under. I think Cheptegei knocking 6 seconds off a legendary record over 10,000 meters obviously is just the pinnacle of sports. But as you've seen with Rudisha's mark, people are rarely running 141s, running 141s. And now winning times in the Diamond League are now 142, 143. So it's held up at least for 8 years now. And all these records are viewed through the prism of history, right? If someone came the next year in 2013 at those world championships, ran 140.8, we'd be like, or even if Rudisha did it himself, he ran in some one-off weird meet and ran 140.8 and got the world record, I think we would think of that differently. But to break a world record in an Olympic final just doesn't get any bigger than that. The difference in points here is so small. We're talking about 1306 versus 1302. That to me, these things are more for general guidelines, and I use them to kind of figure out the range of where we're at. But when you get down to 4 points, I think it's incredibly close. But to me, I think the Rudisha mark is the better performance, and also because Cheptegei, a victim of his own success a little bit here, had already run the 5,000 record, and for a lot of us, it seemed like a formality that he'd be able to break the 10K world record.
Absolutely. Yeah, I guess I was just surprised that, and again, this is like whose line is it anyways? The points don't matter, right? But I was surprised that the one. But I think it's whose line is it anyways? I guess a sports reference more fitting. I was surprised that Rudisha's 140.91 was not worth more points for as unimportant as it is. I would have thought, okay, that's the gold standard. That's as high as, that's going to be up there with Mondo Duplantis's at worst and higher, because I think we look at that and I guess it's because of the stage it was run on as probably a top 5 track and field performance of all time, with Bolt's sprinting world records as well. But it is married to the fact of it was run in the Olympic final, and 7 other people or 6 other people PR'd or broke records, and it was just such a dominant performance without pacers, of which we're not used to record-breaking performances being that way. But yeah, it does help me appreciate, and like you said, I think we did take a little bit for granted that Cheptegei would run this because he had already broke the record, but it does help me at least appreciate Cheptegei's run a little bit more, and the fact that he may be a guy that could possibly break 26 minutes one day. It's just would have been unthinkable previously. So just a little interesting tidbit there, to a different way to view this 26:11.